I've got to admit, some of the moves that Microsoft have made in the past are really starting to pay off right now for them. And this is just another one of those instances where it looks like things are kind of paying off for them in a bigger way than any of us could have ever imagined. And what I mean by that is, who would have thought that Microsoft making some of these decisions 2 years ago would turn out to actually make it look worse for Sony right now than we could have imagined, right? Like, Sony was kicking the crap out of Xbox. The PlayStation 4 was absolutely dismantling the Xbox. Now, we don't have any 100% proof positive idea of how many Xbox One sold, but even though I'm an Xbox fan, I fully admit that it's probably somewhere in between the 40 and 45 million range. And the reason why I say that is Microsoft stopped producing Xbox One X and the Xbox SAD last year, or excuse me, in 2020, right? They stopped producing those early on, so they weren't making hardly any Xbox Ones. You couldn't find them anywhere because they were basically not making them, and they were prepping for Xbox Series S and the X. Now, the interesting thing about that is, in March of 2020, AMD announced that they had shipped 150 million GPUs between PS4 and Xbox One. In that same March, Sony announced 109 million sales for PlayStation 4, which left 41 million. So even if you want to give Microsoft the benefit of doubt and say 45 million, they only did about 45 million, consoles, Xbox Ones. That's not great considering what the Xbox 360 did with like 90 million or whatever it is. But at the same time, now it seems to be a totally different story. I went on record and I was talking about some of the things that we saw yesterday, which I felt were very interesting, with 12 plus million already shipped or whatever in the first year for Xbox Series X and S. That's huge. That's huge when you think about it. And I'm not trying to convince anybody that Xbox is going to catch PlayStation, but this news that we have today, Sony kind of did this to themselves, and it's surprising. It's going to be a video you don't want to miss. Hey there, everyone. I'm the Crapgamer, and of course, this is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop you from leaving us a like and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the world to me. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Now, when it comes to this bit of news right here, it's a bit perplexing, but at the same time, it's going to look good for Xbox, but not so good for PlayStation. So Sony is reportedly ramping up PlayStation 4 production again, disputes the discontinuation rumors. So there was rumors that they were going to discontinue the PlayStation 4, and now a new report claims platform holder has arranged to produce around 1 million units of its previous gen console this year. Sony's confirmed production of PlayStation 4 will continue in 2021, despite reports it had planned to focus solely on PlayStation 5. Bloomberg sources claim that the company previously planned to cease PS4 manufacturing at the end of 2021, but instead actually told assembly partners these plans have been changed. The company reportedly hopes to produce around 1 million PlayStation 4 units in 2022 to help offset the issue of PlayStation 5 shortages by offering consumers a more affordable alternative. This figure is said to be adjustable based on demand. PS4 is built with less advanced and more affordable components, so it should be less affected by the global shortages and have hampered both the PlayStation and Xbox, with sources claiming its continued production will also aid Sony in negotiation with manufacturing partners. Sony confirmed to Bloomberg that PlayStation 4 production will carry on and said there had been no plans to discontinue the device anyway. And I quote, "It has been one of the best-selling consoles ever, and there is always crossover between generations," according to a PlayStation spokesperson. For comparison, PlayStation 3 was only discontinued in 2017, 4 years after the PlayStation 4 launched, while PlayStation 2 production finally ended in 2013, 7 years after PS3's debut and the same year as the PS4's arrival. Another factor is the surge of demand for PlayStation 4 in its late life cycle due to the pandemic. The console saw an uptick of hardware sales last summer as various nations entered lockdown, with PlayStation boss Jim Ryan telling Game Industry Biz that it was crucial that we keep PS4 users engaged and happy. PlayStation 5 stands as Sony's fastest selling console to date, with 10 million units sold by July. Meanwhile, the PS4 stands at over 116 million units sold. Now, what's very interesting about this news right here is, were they going to probably keep making PS4s anyway? I tend to probably think so, unless they were going to shut them down early to focus completely on the PlayStation 5 consoles, right? I don't know. Like, it's so odd to me that PlayStation 4s, the Slims, are still $299, and the PS4 Pros, if you can ever find them, are still $399. So yeah, you do have that to kind of look at and go, well, that's a little bit strange. But how is this good for Microsoft? Well, this year we know that, I mean, there's obviously games that are coming to PlayStation 5 only, one of them being Forspoken, which is a third-party game. But in terms of first-party, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West, and also God of War Ragnarok, and, you know, those games are all going to be on PlayStation 4. So I think Sony feels like they can make some money off and sell some copies of those games on PlayStation 4 last-gen hardware. I don't know. I don't like keeping things cross-gen for this long. I mean, we're a year into the generation. It just seems like a mistake at this point. And then it looks like Microsoft's gamble with the Series S is a huge payoff because people can buy that and play the latest titles, whereas you're not going to be able to do that with the PlayStation 4 if you buy a PS4. Now, the thing is, a PS4 Slim at $299 is the same freaking price of the Xbox Series S. That's crazy. So you can get a current gen console for $299 or a last gen console for $299. If you buy if you buy an S, you're going to be able to play all the stuff that's going to be current gen only. You know, and Microsoft just ends up looking better, despite the fact that myself and many other people gave Microsoft a lot of crap for them, you know, keeping players being able to play games for the first year or so, right? Like, that turned out to be because they didn't really have much, and the year that they are, like this year, like, I'm the first to admit, it's a little bit of a bleaker year. That looks like the big three from the first party are going to be Redfall, Forza Motorsport, and Starfield, but those are current gen only. So Microsoft's heavy hitters for this year are going to be current gen only, whereas Sony's are all going to be cross-gen, and you're going to be able to play them on the PS4, meaning that people can pick up a S right now over, you know, if they can't find a PS5 or whatever, and they're still going to be able to play those PlayStation games, which is fine for Sony, I'm sure. They don't care where you play it. You know, same way with Microsoft, if you play one of their games on PC, I'm sure they don't give two craps about where you play it. But it's very interesting that Microsoft's strategy for the S is paying off, and Microsoft really has a chance to go out there and do some things, whereas Sony is out here kind of, you know, I don't want to say floundering, but they are kind of floundering a little bit. You know, that this is actually happening because, you know, people are going to be able to go get people are going to be able to go and get these PS4s and stuff. I don't know. I think that it's a strange kind of situation, and, you know, I'm kind of confused as to what the deal is. But, you know, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. And, you know, I just think that the cross-gen stuff late into the second year is a mistake. And I know that there's problems with conductors and stuff like that. But to me, if PlayStation 5 is already at 17 to 20 million sold, you know, the hardcore that are really interested in these hardcore PlayStation games probably already either have a PlayStation 5 or will hold out and wait until they get one. So, very interested indeed. Let me know what you all think. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crapgamer 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crapgamer out.